March 2024. Hello everyone, my name is Brian, and today I'm going to be taking you on a grand tour of our property to show you all that we have growing. And we're out here in the front yard where we have a couple citrus trees. This is a vanilla orange, and we grafted a sanguinelli blood orange onto here. And then we have a variegated lemon tree out here, and we have a king tanner grafted on. So those are a couple of examples of things that you'll see from our growing space where we practice succession growing. And by that means we have small harvests that we can eat without having too much. And with succession, we'll get continual harvest. So we are pretty much produce independent if I continue the succession sowing. So in the front yard, if you're interested in this space, I recently put a garden tour. So I won't get into this space too much. I'm going to show you the space in the backyard. So these are some of the succession brassicas that I was talking about. And this is our growing space in the front yard. So I'm going to take you to the backyard and show you our setup. Here, this is more regenerative agriculture. And then as we get to the back, we still practice regenerative agriculture, but you'll start to see a little bit more man-made stuff like planters and stuff. So here we are in the citrus grove where we have a few more varieties of citrus. This is Oro Blanco. It is a grapefruit pomelo hybrid. What I like about this is that it has many of the pomelo qualities, but the peelability of a grapefruit. So easy to peel with pomelo qualities. This is a mulberry that is now waking up from winter, and we grow it horizontally. We have some more citrus here. This is a Saduchi lime or mandarin. It's used in Japanese culture. And then here we have a sanguinelli or sanguinello. I always get dyslexic about the actual name. One is Spanish, the other is Italian. So that's that one. And then we have a Tarraco blood orange here. And then coming down, we have a Makrut lime. It is formerly known as a Kafir lime, but Kafir is a derogatory term, so it's gotten its name changed since. And then we did a pomelo graft that's down here. So we'll see if we're gonna get fruit from there. And before I continue along, we also have a sapote tree, and it's making fruit for us now. So Sean, if you're watching, thank you for the tree. It's finally fruiting for us. And Sean lives across the hill over there, and he gave this tree to me. So I'm very grateful, and I'm very excited to see if we can taste it. Up this way, there is another citrus. This is the Robertson Navel Orange. So this matures in December. Your market, Washington, D.C. or Washington Navel, is around January. And then we're going to see a late Lane Navel Orange as well. So we have this over here. And then down here, this is a pretty interesting dragon fruit. I'm blanking out on the name. Oh, Egger's Baby. And I'm hoping that it'll fruit for us again because the dragon fruit has this lychee type flavor. So other people describe it as a rose flavor, and it's actually one I'm actually super excited about because I'm kind of indifferent to dragon fruit. I know they're very popular these days, but they're kind of bland to me. Other than the nice cold texture, the cold cooling effect in the summertime, and some of that kiwi texture, it's kind of bland. So I'm very excited about that one. That's actually a pretty interesting one. This is a Gwen avocado. This is also, as you see with the fruit trees, also planted for succession. And it's avocados are something that I'm not good at planting, but I think I finally figured it out after 10 years of trying. So this is Gwen. It's not going to produce for us just yet, maybe next year. And then we got different varieties of strawberries. And if you're familiar with Harry's berries, this is a very delicious variety. It doesn't grow everywhere, unfortunately. It doesn't grow well everywhere, unfortunately. Since I'm near downtown Los Angeles with the ocean about 20 miles south of me, we have this nice climate that we can get away with growing this variety, and we do get very good, delicious fruit. So if you're not able to grow this, and if you're fortunate enough to be able to buy Harry's berries, give it a try. That up there is a Valencia orange, and then we got a couple of trees with the, I'm blanking out on the name again. Bahubza blood orange. Very good, sweet orange for wintertime for juicing. We got a couple trees there. And then this is a tree, citrus tree that I grew from seed. This is Flying Dragon, and it's got a very interesting form. And a lot of the dwarf rootstock is this Flying Dragon. So what they would do is they grow this rootstock from seed, and then put the varieties onto it. So a lot of our small trees that you see, they are the Flying Dragon rootstock. So I grew this just to have for our citrus collection and just to enjoy. So it's deciduous. That means that in the wintertime, the leaves drop. Unlike a lot of the other varieties, the leaves stay on. The colder varieties, they'll drop their leaves. So this is now filling in because it's spring. And if you're visiting for the first time, this is our primary growing space. I'll pan across and you can see how much space we have in a relation. And this is kind of a unadulterated tour because I haven't really cleaned everything up. So some stuff is a working mess. In here, there's various growing styles and containers. I started many years ago out of budget and practicality with regular plastic containers. So you'll see those back here. And bang for the buck, practicality. They're the best way to go about it. If you're concerned about style, which is something that we all want, then they have these more formal raised planters. So if you're always on the move and haven't had a place to settle down in, I would recommend these nursery containers. These are 20 to 30 gallons, and you can find them at the nurseries that sell the trees, the fruit trees. Here we have a mid-pride peach. So this is one that's growing here for a while, and we have grown it espalier, kind of informally trained it so that it would grow pretty much like a flat sheet of paper, so that it doesn't cast shade into the other growing space that we have here. And also we can have a path to walk back here. We have various Vietnamese herbs. I won't get into the details of it just to save some time. And then this terrace here is newer, so the soil's building, and over time soil becomes amazing. So we'll really be able to grow some heavy feeding complex plants, or plants that really need complex soils, like brassicas. So we started up here with some cover crop like peas, and we started some brassicas to test the soil. So the broccoli plants, they got stunted, so we know our soil is not ready. And in the meantime, we can plant other things, and as you plant, the soil improves. So that's our tier here. And speaking of the slope, that's one of the challenges of growing on this property, is that we don't get a whole bunch of sun, other than maybe right down the middle of that lawn area. And I want to keep it open for a couple of reasons. We have kids, and we still use the yard for playing in. And also with regenerative practices, the chickens will eat the grass. So the grass is like a giant solar panel, and when it rains, we harvest the rainwater. If you ever heard of low impact development, the roof runoff, they permeate down here. We get thousands of gallons onto here, which means the ground is really saturated, the roots go deep, and we don't have to water the lawn very much. So this year we got a lot of rain. I'm going to see how long we can go without watering. And we don't have formal irrigation sprinklers or anything. So if we do water, we do a deep watering of the lawn. So that's our lawn space and the general space that we have. We also have that slope, It's very graded, and eventually I do want to plant up there, but the materials to terrace it is quite costly, so we'll try to do that a little bit at a time as funds are available. This is a Satsuma, Alari Satsuma, and this is ready in December. Up there we have an Algerian mandarin, aka clementine, and that's, I think, around January. So that's the mandarin up there, and I'm trying to see if there's any kind of a significant thing to report in this space. In the wintertime, we don't get to grow too much because of the sun angle, and this portion back here doesn't get a lot of sun, so we can't grow too much. So that's why you see a lot of bare soil. And also I'm prepping for spring planting, but in the front here with these birdies beds, we can continue to grow. And since it's spring, we're starting our tomato plants, and be sure to catch my other videos where I do show how I transplant the tomatoes. So if you're curious as to why the tomato plants are set so deep in the bed, I explained that in those videos. Let's go and see what else we have going on. It's now spring, which means that we can start our plants outdoors, and I've turned off the grow light and we're getting all our plants started. So I mentioned earlier succession planting, so we're doing succession broccoli, and I'm testing out cauliflower to see if we can grow this year round. We can grow broccoli year round, and cauliflower is something that I hope we can do with grow year round as well. Let's see, tomatoes, recently up-potted them. I typically up-pot in these 3.5-inch short pots because in California, that's our climate. It's best to up-pot when we can't, the first chance we get, and our climate allows us to up-pot in these short pots. If you're in a colder climate, you probably have to keep them in a pot for much longer, so you probably need these deep pots. But here, if you're wondering why I'm using a deep pot, I'm actually trying to buy myself some time because I want to make some video content for you guys to maybe learn from, and so I need to buy some time to do that. Normally, these guys are in the ground, and many of them are. So let me take you and show you that later on. Here are more brassicas in different stages. And by brassicas, again, cauliflower sprouting, broccoli, and the like. More plants, flowers. We got flowers up there. Aster, this is California fuchsia, and it's a native plant. I'm hoping to use it on our slope to help with some of the erosion issues that might come up. And this is our greenhouse. Let's see what's in there today. Oh, we got pepper plants. We got to bring the pepper out for the sun. So some of the stuff, I put them in here at nighttime. And one of the things I discovered about greenhouses is that they don't keep their temperatures when it's cold. But they are good for keeping the wind out. I think the wind is what makes the plants really cold, so they do help. And then over here we have some San Marzanos that have been transplanted. And then in the back are peas. So I like to grow living mulch or cover crop. And the peas, where the roots are, they're not competing with the tomatoes. So eventually, when I feel like the roots are going to compete, I'm going to take the peas out and use that as living manure or green manure. And let's see, out this way we got a ice cream banana plant, and then I'm trying to see if there's any interesting fruit trees. We got a different type of mulberry here. Sean gave us this plant as well, this tree, and I forget the name of I think it's Chatut or something. Forget the name of that. We got some roses in bloom. The sunlight's perfect right now, so let me let you enjoy it for a brief moment. This is one of my favorite colors for flowers. This orange, pink, yellow. It reminds me of the Big Stick ice creams. popsicles that we would get in elementary school. And so a lot of the flowers I like to plant of that color. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see a lot of that in the snapdragons in the front yard. You'll see that. We got a pomegranate tree up there, and then I know it's gonna be hard to see because the sun's coming, but that's an Atamoya tree right there. And if you're not familiar with an Atamoya, what it is it is a hybrid between a cherimoya and a sugar apple. So sugar apples are tropical trees. They need humidity, they need warmth. And cherimoyas, they can grow here in, I think I'm in Sunset Zone 23. They can grow here, but with this hybrid, you can grow them in Southern California, anywhere where you have a Mediterranean climate, but you don't get some of that. So when you hybridize it, you're gonna get more of the cherimoya quality, and there are many types of Atamoya hybrids these days. And some have closer textures to sugar apple, which is what I like, but more people prefer the chewier texture of a cherimoya. So if you like those things, the Atamoya is a great tree to plant, especially here in Southern California. It grows pretty fast. It fruits pretty quickly. And this is what, maybe the fourth or fifth year. And by fourth or fifth year, you're gonna get these amazing large size fruit. I think we got like 5 without having to hand pollinate. So I'm expecting this tree to really get going now. And I've hard pruned it back this couple weeks ago, so I hard pruned it back. And then towards the top, it's hard to see because the lantana is kind of growing, but we have another variety of the citrus mandarin. That's a Mercat mandarin, aka tangerine. And yeah, we have a duck, and we have some chickens. And this is a drake, and we lost our female duck, so we're hoping to add another duck to our backyard flock. And these chickens, they produce really good eggs for us because they eat the insects and the grass. So they're, whatever they take in, it's not limited by the bag of feed. All the nutrients that are in the bag of feed is limited by whatever the plant was able to take. And in most cases, those are monocultured plants, so there's limited minerals that they're taking up. So by pasturing the chickens, they're going to get all the minerals and elements that are here, and it's probably going to be more than some place that's been depleted, where they grow year after year. We have another variety of artichoke back here as well. This is a green globe artichoke, so you'll find the seeds for this very easily. Let's see if there's any artichokes yet. There it is. It's kind of poking out. And then I almost forgot, this is a red barren peach tree, and it makes very soft, sweet peaches. So when it comes to peaches, the Western palate prefers them soft and juicy, whereas the Asians like myself, we're accustomed to hard, crunchy ones. And so this is good peach, very flavorful if you're looking for a traditional soft, juicy peach. And they also make these pretty blossoms and buds. Let's pan over here. Here's a nice example of it. It's got this dark fuchsia color, and then before they make flowers or become a flower, the buds here, they remind me of Chinese buttons. So have you ever seen Chinese garments and the old style buttons? That's what they remind me of. And then moving along, next to this red barren peach, we have the Morel blood orange. This is a full-size tree, and it produces a lot of blood oranges. And I also have a video of blood orange tasting if you're interested in seeing what the blood oranges look like on the inside. And when it comes to planting trees, so I try to follow the sunlight. So you can see back there's a lot of sunlight. That means it's a good place to tuck in another peach variety. So this is an August Pride peach, and it ripens, as the name suggests, in August. So we have June. And then on the tree that's kind of bare up there, that's also a July variety up there, and that is Eva's Pride. So we have that one. I won't get into it too much, but these trees have differing chill hours, and I planted ones that have more requires more chill hours than our area can provide, and I was testing out this theory that it's not a hard rule. If you want consistent production of peaches, consistent harvest year after year, then follow the chill hour recommendation. But if you're okay with every few years getting them, then add on maybe a couple hundred hours to your range. So that one, the Eva's Pride, we're not going to get year after year, but every few years it will make for us fruit. And if you have space for it, go ahead and plant it. So there's on the slope there's one that's even a higher chill hour variety. I think it's 800 to 1,000. We get 250 chill hours on our good year. This year I think it was like 100. It's been warm, so we only had 100 chill hours. Anyways, it's up there as a test, and that is a Kauai or Kauai. It's a Kauai peach, and that looks very good and tasty. I know California has some amazing peaches because I like them hard and crunchy, tart, slightly sweet, and so I prefer the California peaches. Probably the traditional peach lover will prefer the Atlanta variety, which is sweet and juicy. So the Kauai one is a very nice, hard and crunchy, sweet, tart type of peach. Okay, I kind of spent a lot of time on the peaches. I guess we'll spend a little bit more time. This is a desert gold, and I planted this last year, so the tree's very, very young. And this one is a very early maturing peach variety. So this is May, and you'll see the fruit is already set. You can kind of tell when the fruit are going to be ready by the blossoms and the stages at which the blossoms are showing. I forget when the Red Baron fruits for us. I'm thinking July. And when it comes to that texture, again, sweet and very juicy, Red Baron and Desert Gold. And the other ones that we have, I would call them California varieties, because they are not as sweet and not as juicy. But if you're after hard, crunchy, sweet tart, those are the ones to plant. And then we're gonna get over here where we have some more tomatoes. Amish Gold and Carilla debut, Ox Hearts. And then we have a guava. This is your white guava. Loved by Asians because it's crunchy. And then this is a Tulsi plant. It's a perennial plant, and I kind of shape it as a ball, a sphere. And then behind it we have a lemon verbena plant. So it's got this very nice lemongrass-like flavor that's good for teas. Back there is a Lamhas avocado, and it's been here planted here maybe the third, fourth year. Maybe it'll finally fruit for us. And then next to it is a Bear's Line. And then next to that is a Pinkerton avocado. And the Pinkerton is very quick to produce after you plant. So we planted this tree last year and made fruit. This is the first fruit that we're gonna get. The only caveat is this is according to Greg Alder. Greg, I'm never heard the pronunciation of your last name, so I hope I got that right. It's either Alder or Alder, and he is a avocado aficionado, and he says that the Pinkerton is fast to fruit, which is what we found, but the consistency is varied. So you may see fruit of different shapes. They may or may not have blemishes, but that's going to be okay because we're just backyard gardeners, and to be able to get avocados right away is a plus. So I would say plant this in addition to other varieties that you want, like your Haas. So avocados can take 5 to 7 years after you plant it. You're typically not going to get a very, very mature tree. And I don't recommend buying and planting a very mature tree because the failure rate is very high and they often don't guarantee it. So I would say start with a typical 5-gallon tree and plant with that. And in the meantime, plant the Pinkerton with it. You can decide that you don't want it later on and chop it down. And you'll be getting avocados as you wait for your main tree to produce. And speaking of, I mentioned earlier, very bad at the avocado planting, and I think I finally figured it out. And so here we have a reed avocado tree that's just hanging on, and this is from me not knowing what I'm doing, and I'm hoping to have some type of strong material to graft it with. So maybe we can graft it onto another avocado tree that we have, and that way we have a reed avocado. So the reed is a very good tasting avocado, and then we'll get a succession harvest. And let me walk back this way before I forget to talk about this avocado here, which is the queen avocado. And I've had this for a while now, and that was when I didn't know what I was doing. And basically I gave them too much sun and too little water, because they say that avocado trees don't like their feet wet, and I ended up not watering them as I needed to water them. So they didn't do very well. So this one is putting on new growth now, and this one makes giant fruit. And it was suggested to me because I was looking for the Gwen avocado, which was hard to find at the time. It's coming back now for backyard growers because it's a very good tasting avocado. Not very good in commercial settings, but good tasting, produces enough for the average home user. So that's something that's the Gwen is coming back because of people looking for it. Let's come back to here where I have next to the Pinkerton is a Malaysian red guava, and it's got very interesting foliage. We don't have any guavas to show you because it's not guava season. Next to it is a finger lime, and I'm trying to see if there's any finger limes on there. Nope, there's not one to show you. The finger lime is a very thorny plant, so it's got these thorns, and it also grows as a bramble, so it requires a lot of pruning. You have to be careful, but with the trimmings, these thorns, we can use it as a natural fencing material. So again, that regenerative aspect of it, permaculture, without having to purchase things, you can create barriers with the things that you grow. And then next to that, it is a acerola cherry, and it is not acerola cherry season yet. And this one's also trained to be espalier, to grow on a flat plane. And then we're getting to just our junk drawer over here, the garden's junk drawer. We just throw stuff here and worry about organizing later. This is a tiger fig. It's also known as panache fig. Got some fruit here. I think this is Braba fruit, the first fruit. And we're gonna continue along this way for a little bit, where we have different varieties of raspberries that I didn't show you. And I'm moving this one today. And this is a yuzu citrus. It's making some buds, and I really recently chopped it down a lot. It makes a lot of fruit, more fruit than we need. But I was more concerned that, as you can see, this is morning time. We need as much sunlight to hit the plants that we have out that way as much as possible, because with the way those plants are situated, they don't get a lot of light until they only get morning and then afternoon light. And these are trees that we need to get as much sunlight from them as possible. And here we have a strawberry guava, and I also recently hard pruned it. You can see the points, and it was growing really tall and blocking out the morning light of our vanilla blood orange, sanguinelli, blood orange. And that, we've circled back to our beginning starting part and place, I should say. And that's our garden tour. Thank you for checking out our garden and what we're up to and what we grow. And I hope you visit again. See you in the next video.